Eagle Jon. Today we're going to talk about I'm going to build a fire and get some coals to cook on. We're going to boil some water. We're going to boil some water in a plastic container right on the coals, and we're also going to attempt make a paper bowl or paper container over the coals to boil water in and cook some ramen noodles. I think we'll cook an egg in a styrofoam cup over the coals. But that all works really well. Done it probably 5-8 times before. So that's what we're going to do. Get this fire started, get some coals going. So the first thing I've done next to the fire here, I put 4 sticks in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all have Y's in the top. So I've laid these sticks across here now. Laid 2 going across this way, 2 across that way, and then just come across like this. And leave enough room between here so you can cook. I've taken a piece of paper. If you find some paper out in the woods, this is just another way to cook. Probably nothing new, I'm sure. But I folded the ends to where I have no holes in the corners. All the corners filled, and it's going to sit right there. Okay, so what I've done, I've taken some logs that are about the same height as this paper is, and put them right against the walls. And that'll keep the walls from coming out when I put water in it. This is like a one-time use thing, you know, if you have nothing else. Kind of a pain in the butt, but it works if you have nothing else to do to cook with. But it does work. So we'll fill that full of water, and we'll throw some coals. Got some coals over here, a little bit under there. And we'll boil some water, do some ramen noodles. All right, so I got my water in there. All right, I got some coals moved under it. And you don't need too many. I don't want flame. That's very hot right there. But that water, that paper and that soaked that water is not going to burn, of course. It's going to boil. So we'll let that boil here. Well, got some thunder and lightning coming around here now. There it is. Got me a little tarp up here, or my poncho. Was prepared for it, at least. God, I don't know what it is with that rooster, man. It gets so old. I think the people across the way there, they got a rooster. It wasn't too long ago. Constantly screeching, howling. But it is nice today, overcast. Yeah, here's some rain coming down now. All right, I'll get back to you here in a minute. And so we got this egg in the styrofoam cup and got about half full of water. And I'm going to stick this styrofoam right next to this fire. Doesn't matter if there's fire or not. That top part will melt. And let some water out. But the rest will boil. That's melting. It'll only melt down to the water line. And it'll start boiling the water. So we'll get back to that in just a minute also. It hasn't been too long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes here, maybe 5 minutes. Let's check this water. Ooh, It's getting hot. But as you can see, the styrofoam is not melted at the bottom. On the outside it is. On the outer layers it's melting, but not to the water. Alright, now I've totally filled up this plastic bottle, torn off the top, torn off the outside. It's totally filled up. You shouldn't see, you might see a little air bubble in there, but so I want to keep this cap out of the fire. I don't want flame. So I'm going to lay this plastic right on these coals. But I want to keep that cap. Dropped a leaf in there. I want to keep that cap out of the coals right there. And that'll boil in that inside of that plastic jug without melting. But we'll let all that boil if I don't get rained out here. Let's go over here and check on this real quick. Oh yeah, it's starting to get warm now. Back with you in a minute. Alright, that water is very hot. And that's very hot. But it will not melt because it has water in it. Keeping this out of the coals, because that will probably melt, I'm sure, because it might not. But I keep that out of the coals. I think I'm fixing to get rained out pretty bad here. So this water here is getting pretty warm. Anyway, there's a couple ways to boil water and boil an egg in a styrofoam cup. Eagle Jon, just wanted to give you a little more insight to some, I guess, science. Don't ask me to explain it. But there it is, in case you have nothing else to cook with or boil water with. You can find this out, of course, out in the middle of nowhere. You can find this out in the middle of nowhere. You can find eggs on farmers' lands, or eggs out in where chickens run around. You can find paper laying around in the middle of nowhere. And of course, if you know how to start a fire, you're set. I appreciate y'all watching. About to get rained out here. Eagle Jon, let me get out of here. Bye-bye.